Senators, we are enjoying an overwhelmingly no vote tonight here in the state of California. But no is not the only thing that was expressed tonight. I want to focus on what we said yes to as a state. We said yes to science. We said yes to vaccines. We said yes to ending this pandemic.
Because the Associated Press has now just called it. You see the numbers on the bottom of your screen. You see the check mark there, 67.3, 32. Yes, that means that Gavin Newsom will not be recalled. The Associated Press has now called it. You've got 58% of the vote in. As we said earlier, we knew that this was going to be the early totals in some of these large counties.
Decades ago, this guy, Arnold Schwarzenegger, was voted in as the state's Republican governor. Now, Californians are deciding Tuesday whether their current governor, Democrat Gavin Newsom, will keep his gig. And the outcome of the vote could be a sign of where political winds are blowing in the U.S.
We may have defeated Donald Trump, but we have not defeated Trumpism. Trumpism is still on the ballot in California.
While Donald Trump's name is not on the ballot, Newsom pushing back against what he's characterizing as an attempted power grab by a movement in line with the former Republican president.
Millions and millions of Californians that exercise their fundamental right to vote and express themselves so overwhelmingly by rejecting the division, by rejecting the cynicism, by rejecting so much of the negativity that's defined our politics in this country over the course of so many years. I just think of our kids watching all of this. Nightly news, day in and day out. And I just wonder, I've got 4 young kids. Oldest about to turn 12 this weekend. And what they're growing up to. In a world where we're so divided, these kids increasingly fearful, isolated.
Let's be gracious in defeat. And by the way, we may have lost the battle, but we are going to win the war.
Recall against Governor Newsom has been in the works for more than a year and found support among people who were unhappy with the restrictions he imposed during the pandemic.
In other news across America now, California Governor Gavin Newsom is slamming a federal judge's ruling that overturns the state's 3-decade-old ban on assault weapons. He calls it, quote, a direct threat to public safety. CBS 4's Lilia Luciano has the latest.
Judge Roger Benitez called the 1989 ban on assault weapons a failed experiment. His ruling
about January 6th. And here's what Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren, a member of the January 6th Select Committee, said about House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who's threatened the committee for seeking his communications records. Have a listen.
What's he hiding? Why is he trying to keep the truth from coming out? I think the leaders of our country, and Kevin is one of them, should be stepping forward and trying to get to the bottom of everything that led up to January 6th.
Hyperbolic based on the analysis that we're seeing. This rally that's planned for September 18th is going to potentially be very significant, but maybe not in the sense that it could generate another type of January 6th event, but rather it could lay patchwork or groundwork for those kind of events to happen in the future in D.C. or maybe even at state capitals going forward.